Loop up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
Biggest dinosaur.
Oh my goodness, that already gives me chills. A brand new era of prehistoric adventure is about to begin. This summer, dinosaurs are unleashed like never before in the highly anticipated release of Jurassic World: Rebirth, a bold new chapter in the legendary franchise that takes us beyond the islands and into uncharted territory. And director and visionary filmmaker Gareth Edwards is known for his epic storytelling in films like Rogue One and Godzilla, and he's with me this morning to share what we can expect from the new upcoming movie. Good morning to you.
Morning to you.
So glad to have you here. Okay, so I got to see the screener yesterday, and it literally had me squirming in my seat. I mean, I was waiting to see what was going to happen next. I am that person in the movie theater who talks too much, unfortunately. So you described the movie as a blend of action and horror. So how did you really uptick that fear factor?
Yeah, I kept waiting for the studio, you know, because obviously I was a kid, or a lot younger when Jurassic Park came out. And we were very much trying to go back to that, or I was trying to recapture that feeling that I had in the cinema when that came out. And now as an adult, obviously your fear factor goes up a few notches.
Right.
And so I wanted to make it as scary as it felt in the original. And so I kept waiting for the studio to tap me on the shoulder and say, stop now.
But they let you keep going.
Yeah, no one ever did. And it's, to me, like Jurassic Park, the original, is kind of like it's a horror movie on the witness protection program.
I like that.
It pretends it's a family adventure, but everyone knows it's really scary.
It's actually really terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in those situations. Now, a lot of the dinosaurs, even in the trailer, you guys, they look so monstrous. And without spoiling too much, if you can you tease one of the new dinosaur species that fans will get to see? Even that one right there.
Oh yeah, okay, so this is basically the island that this is set on is the place where they did the original experiments to create the original dinosaurs. And some of those experiments went wrong, and there's something you see in those clips called a D-Rex, which is like a T-Rex cranked up to 11.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it was a chance to, I mean, essentially at its heart, as you know, Jurassic is a monster movie, and basically we took our foot off the brakes and let it go all the way there at the end.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it is quite scary, you guys, the D-Rex. I think it's worse than a T-Rex for sure. Now, you're known for bringing scale and realism to sci-fi and action, so how did you approach the challenge of making dinosaurs feel fresh and new, especially as, I mean, because this is an anthology at this point. There are so many Jurassic movies just in general. How do you put that fresh feeling on it?
Yeah, I mean, well, basically it was written by David Koepp, who wrote the original Jurassic Park, which got me really excited. And then in terms of visual effects, like dinosaurs have probably gotten as good as they can get 20 years ago. And so what we really concentrated on was the environments and the realism of the filmmaking and the world building. And so we decided to go to real locations. We went to Southeast Asia, Thailand, and we shot in real mangrove swamps and waterfalls and secluded beaches and cliff tops and all sorts of things you see in those clips. They were like, we were really there.
You guys really submerged yourself, really in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah, and like we were in mangrove swamps, and normally there's this really like long walk to go and like go to the restroom. And it was one of those weird things where, strangely that day, when we were all in wetsuits in a mangrove swamp, nobody needed to go for
Nobody needed the bathroom that day.
Yeah, and it was just suddenly warm patches as you'd push the camera through these little sections. You go like...
You know, you guys got really close that day.
Yeah, we did.
I think so. Yes, indeed. Okay, so the very first Jurassic Park was actually released on this day in 1993. You said, of course, that you were a fan back then. So what was your reaction when Steven Spielberg and David Koepp brought you this script the first time? What was your first reaction?
It was incredibly surreal. Like, I didn't know, I mean, I basically had nothing to lose. I did want to have a break. I wanted to read that screenplay and not like it and say, oh, I'm really sorry, but I'm busy, I've already booked a holiday. But I got to the end and I was like, damn, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And then I went to see Steven, I call him Steven now, obviously, Mr. Spielberg. And
you guys are close. You can call him Steven.
Mr. Spielberg, God. I went to see Mr. Spielberg and I ended up going, this is what I would do if I got a chance to direct it, in this little list. And at one point he went, he grabbed a pen and paper and started writing some of the things I was saying down. And I couldn't tell if this is a good thing or a bad thing. And then at the end, when I said the last one, he sort of looked up and just smiled and went, that's great. Oh. And I felt like, I could have died now. As a filmmaker, like to get something nice said to you by like your hero was like a dream, really.
That's so awesome, especially because a lot of the times people say do not meet your heroes,
No.
but it worked out for you, which is so amazing. What does it feel like to be a part of this legacy? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, it feels surreal. Like I honestly feel like I'm in the Matrix or something. Like you shouldn't get to watch a film like Jurassic, say I want to be a director, and then someday get to actually shoot a movie like this. It doesn't. We tried to make it feel like a small, intimate movie, and you could kind of convince yourself of this. And it's only now I'm seeing the trailers on the like last night I was in the hotel and I saw the trailer come up on the TV, and you go, oh, I think maybe this is not that tiny film we thought it was. You know.
It's gonna be big. It is so good. It's so good. Before you go, I have to ask you, if you were in this situation where you're in Jurassic World, you need to survive, what is the dinosaur that you are absolutely avoiding, and what is one thing you will take with you to make sure that you survive?
I would probably totally avoid the T-Rex.
For sure.
And I would probably bring David Koepp, the writer, with me, because then he could write me to survive the scene.
Listen, he could write you right out of there,
exactly.
put you on a boat and get you right out on the island. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. This movie is sure to deliver excitement, heart-dropping, I'm talking moments, you guys. Jurassic World Rebirth stomps into theaters on Wednesday, July 2nd. And to learn so much more about the movie, you can go to JurassicWorld.com. Thank you, Gareth, for being here this morning.